Hi, everybody. Welcome to the MenoLounge. I'm Julie Gordon-White, CEO of MenoWell, Menopause High Fiber plus Protein Bars. And hello, we have a major Celebrate Us sale happening right now across all platforms. So our site at mymenowell.com. Hi, Katie. And also on Amazon, 40% off. Because you know why? Celebrate us. We deserve it. Okay, so I just wanted to say that before Dr. LaReesa comes on. We're talking about hyperthyroidism or menopause. Which is it? If you're here, is it because you have a question for Dr. LaReesa? If you do, post it down below. I love that flower, Katie. Hi, everybody. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Allie. Let's see. Does that say she likes butter? Is that your handle? Because I used to have a butter problem. I'm not kidding. I love butter so much. I don't have a butter problem anymore. Mostly because I stopped eating foods that needed butter. Hi, Cece. Super glad you guys are here. I hope you have questions about hyperthyroidism. I'm going to see if I can hunt down Dr. LaReesa. You know, I always say, it's always tricky when you have a doctor on because they do doctoring. All right, hold on one second. Talk amongst yourselves. Just kidding. Or you can comment there. Dr. LaReesa, or hop over and go grab some bars on Amazon or our site while they're 40%. Dr. LaReesa. She's in Florida where I think it's cold. I'm in Northern California where we're sweating. Where are you? It feels like, hey, Christine, it feels like our weather patterns are in menopause. I'm just saying, hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. So I love that people are jumping on. Hypothyroidism, it's kind of a new thing. Hi, Jenny, for me. I'm not really familiar with it, so I'm excited to hear what Dr. LaReesa has to say about it. So do you guys have any questions? I'm going to look back here in the chat. Any personal experience you are comfortable sharing? What are you laughing at, Christine? Weather, right? All the things. But it's, I hear women talking about their thyroid all the time. I do have a friend who had a thyroid issue, but I don't really know what it is. So raise your hand, put an emoji. I see Dr. LaReesa trying to join. You can do it, Dr. LaReesa. Let's see, here she comes, I think. Says you're coming. Oh, happy St. Patrick's Day. I should have worn something green. Darn it. I don't have a lot of green stuff. I have a lot of lavender. A lot. I used to have a lot of orange. Now I have a lot of lavender. Maybe it's my hair color. All right, Dr. LaReesa, I saw you. I'm going to send you another invite. Oh, there she is. Hey, 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 hey.
Hi.
Hi, hi, hi. I'm going to roll back in my chair. My little doggy insists all of a sudden and sitting right below my chair, right down here, so I try not to run her over.
Oh, it makes me miss my Eli,
I know.
my big Rottweiler.
The big, gigantic Eli when we're on a Zoom call and he's like has his head right here. So, hi, Dr. LaReesa. Good to see
Hi,
you.
Julie. How's it
Hi, hi,
going?
hi. Look at the purple hair doc is here. Hi, hi, hi.
Oh,
Look at, we've got a lot of people hopping on today. I think hypothyroidism or menopause is a big topic. And we're going to talk about what it is for those who are new. And I was sharing before you got here that I don't really know. So we're going to be like 101. But first, let's go to why this conversation is important. And then we'll go to the what it is. So I'll hand that to you. Why is this important?
because it mostly impacts women. I mean, just simple as that. Majority of thyroid disorders or problems are going to be 7 times more related to a woman's health. So this is a women's health discussion in so many ways, and it oftentimes comes up in this time where we have this other thing going on, this transitional thing going on as we're heading into menopause or through these fluctuation times as our sex hormones are changing. So it is definitely a women's health discussion because it impacts us the most.
It and feels confusing if it's happening all at the same time.
Hmm.
Christine said, just diagnosed with hypothyroidism, not significantly bad, but new. So I personally happen to know she's postmenopausal. So sharing care, I'm just sharing, Christine. I hope you don't mind. No HIPAA here. Okay. I don't think she'll mind. Okay,
You're
so
so
now we know
funny.
why it's super important. Let's just go back to 101 for a minute. What is hypothyroidism?
Hmm. So I'm gonna try to keep things super simple because anytime we're talking about hormones, it can be pretty complex, no matter how many things that you may hear out there. Hormones are signals, they are messengers, they are ways of which, oh, hi, Rhonda, thanks for coming in. Oh, I'm sorry, this is one of my
It's
classmates
okay.
from back in the
Hi,
day. So
Rhonda.
hi, she's a doctor, she's head of this ENT program somewhere. She's wonderful. She's like one of those badass women out there that I love. So I'm sorry, not to divert.
That's
I love to
okay.
see my
Got to give
people.
the shout outs.
Yeah. So let's say hypo, so under functioning thyroid. So thyroid gland is a gland, kind of butterfly wing, right along the neck area, weighs about an ounce. But it is a major metabolic engine. I grew up in medical school learning that thyroid is the conductor of it all. Pretty much had so many things that it does. And the reason why we're having this discussion around menopausal type symptoms is some of the symptoms, you might as well put them side to side and have a blank over what is the category that you're talking about. And somebody will be like, are we talking about thyroid or menopause? Because oftentimes this is a system related issue. The thyroid, when people are having underfunction, because I know we're focusing on hypothyroidism, which is one of the more common types that impact women. This brain fog, weight changes, sleep disruptions, dry skin, areas of GI dysfunction. There's so many things that when you look at the whole symptomatology of looking at, okay, this is my body going through the change, and I'm considering this is a transition into menopause, but some of these same symptoms can also be reflected of an underacting or not so well functioning thyroid. Now, within that category, you have autoimmune and non-autoimmune. So autoimmune is where we are producing antibodies against this particular thyroid. And also a name for this is Hashimoto's thyroiditis. So many people may notice that this is one of the more common versions in the US as opposed to worldwide. Non-autoimmune due to nutritional deficiencies is a hypothyroidism or a hypothyroid disorder that may plague more outside of the US versus some of those two categories when we talk about majority of it. So Hashimoto's is something very common. But I want to start making sure that when we're talking about thyroid disorders, especially hypothyroidism specifically, is that really truly understanding not only just the symptoms, but when we are going to take action. Because many of the things, still the same conversation of, well, my doctor said all my hormones were normal, but I
Mm-hmm.
still feel like crap. I
Mm-hmm.
still feel like my body is breaking up with me. WTF, what the hell is going on?
Right.
So understand there's certain things, not only in the area of some of these symptoms being kind of overlapping, but also looking at, and we'll talk about it a little later because we can dive a little bit more on that, some of the laboratory studies. Some of those things might be a little bit more suboptimal when the reference range is saying normal. And once again, you're getting lots more fatigue, having more dysregulation of your weight, cognitive issues, hair thinning, skin changes, just overall feeling like, hey, what's going on with my body? So this is a time to not only discuss in the realm of not only hormone signaling, because hormones are messengers, they're signals of communication, but oftentimes this thyroid is a major conductor of many things. So when I'm managing or I am seeing a woman for a full consultation because I have a whole body approach, when you're having symptoms that is telling me something is going on in the system, and
Mm-hmm.
if we're looking at the system, then honestly, I I'm looking at mind body, but thyroid goes before estrogen for me, So I'm going to evaluate this area before I even touch, because you can give somebody, and I'm saying specifically estrogen, hormone therapy, progesterone, testosterone, because technically thyroid, replacing someone's thyroid or using certain medication in some ways is considered hormone therapy. You're replacing a hormone in a way, or helping the functioning of this particular gland. So when we're looking at that, you can give somebody estradiol all day, and if you're not addressing another root cause that could be attributing to an underfunctioning thyroid, you're getting more suboptimal or less efficacious results.
Wow. I'm kind of blown away by this, I have to tell you. In all of the, first of all, in 60 years of my life, no doctor has ever asked me about thyroid in connection with any conversation about perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, hormone therapy, nothing. It's never, ever been brought up. I mean, does that make any sense? Is it because I haven't had
Well,
issues other than, okay, now I'm postmenopausal, or, I don't, why would that be?
Well, I think oftentimes, and this is my perspective of where it may not be discussed as often, is you have related symptoms, and there's a lean on a singular test, which is the TSH, or thyroid stimulating hormone, in some basic laboratory studies. I use it, but I do use a more other advanced or additional lab testing to make sure we're getting a better picture. But if someone is not having or has similar constellation of symptoms that I mentioned before that are overlapping with menopause or heading into menopause type issues, then with this test, the TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, which is a hormone produced in the brain in a pituitary gland that is actually communicating signals to here and this thyroid gland to produce the more active thyroid hormone. So if that one is so-called normal, or does not, through this screening test, does not reveal something more that they need to dig further, then that's it, right?
And
So
is
that
the
kind of ended your.
TSH test part of regular labs that you take every year? I need to
I
go
would
back and
say,
look at my labs. Yeah.
yeah, go back and look at your labs. Majority of primary care physicians will add that into a panel.
Okay.
So what may be a little different of looking at like a whole approach is that, one, sometimes just asking the question. So, and let me paint a picture, because there's something unique about out here in the world of social media. There's a lot more visual. There's more attentive to what that looks like. So I like to throw out, okay, are you tired? Okay, well, let me back up a little bit. At your 1 or 3 o'clock hours, this is the time where you're getting your second or third coffee. All right. When you get home to your kids, so you feel like you're going to crash and burn. All right. Is it hard for you to wake up, but you felt like you had 8 hours of sleep and not feeling truly rested? Do you constantly feel like I'm always catching up? I do not understand what's going on. I'm not as sharp. I'm not as clear. I'm not with it. And I'm not showing up like I used to. To me, that puts a lot more picture to someone's life than saying, are you tired? Are you exhausted? You know, because oftentimes that may be the picture that people need to think, because we normalize so much, you know,
Interesting.
we place so many things. Well, well, that's normal, that'll happen. Everybody grabs a coffee around 1 or 2 o'clock. No,
Right.
it's, usually
But
that's a signal and saying something.
hmm,
So having those type of questions, and even when it comes to weight, okay, well, do you slowly feel like this is building up over time? Or do you feel like, hey, I turned a number and I just can't keep it off for nothing? And then where does that weight land? Excuse me. So just kind of giving some idea or scope or framework where that may attune to having a little bit more conversation or dialogue about, okay, there's something that doesn't feel right about me. And I want to dig a little deeper. And sure enough, you can have both of these things at the same time. Let's
well,
be
that's what I was going
truthful.
to
Hmm.
ask you, because also
Hmm.
Acapella 96 is saying, and please mention that all of us with thyroid disorders present classically present classically. So symptoms can happen with normal lab values because of the wide range of normal, I guess. And
Mm-hmm.
so if the symptoms of hypothyroidism are wide,
Mm-hmm.
how on earth do you know, especially during perimenopause? And maybe
Mm-hmm.
we can even talk about the nuances between
Mm-hmm.
having the syndrome and being in perimenopause versus postmenopause, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know besides
Mm-hmm.
a test? I guess there's a test.
Yes. Oh, so very clear expectations of getting a very deep questionnaire. If you feel like, hey, you're just getting the the superficial component of what you're experiencing, then you may not be really diving into some of that. So part of that history is important. Even having a potential family history or a rocky postpartum course. Sometimes that test isn't done immediately after postpartum, and you feel like, hey, I went through depression, severe depression. I had a difficult time getting back to myself within a year. So sometimes those things may have plagued you for a long time, but oftentimes we can be able to unravel some of this stuff by a good historical context, and then also getting, testing that is important. I think the biggest, when I was making my transition into really like, okay, there has to be more information out here. I have to get trained beyond this. Is like 2016, 2015, or what have you. And I remember reading a book, and for those out there who are familiar with Dr. Aviva Romm, and it was the thyroid adrenal revolution or something like that. And so it's a good read. I felt like it was able to break down some things, and it really went and part of that journey of it's it's part of improving your gut health. It's part of understanding how stress impacts. It is part of evaluating how your adrenals, your small glands on your kidneys that are important for your stress responses. It's important to understand how your environment impacts how your cells behave. And when you start looking at a lot of these things that are tied into each other, then you could potentially really reverse a lot of your symptoms, even if you add medications, but really amplify a lot of those results. So to go back to what you're saying, yes, testing will help for sure, really evaluate. And for me, I'm doing a TSH, a thyroid stimulating hormone. I'm doing the two other hormones that are related to what's actually being produced in the thyroid, which is considered your free T3, your free T4. And actually your active thyroid is your free T3. And the T4 is your inactive version. And so, and then I also test antibodies. What I find is that people can have a normal thyroid or TSH, and I do a thyroid antibody test. And there are two specifically that I do most of the time, which is your TPO or your thyroglobulin antibody testing. And those can be like way high and positive. So what that tells me is that your thyroid has like this is under attack. It's under some kind of duress or stress, even though your other testing can be normal. So now you have a good panel, a good context of this is someone whom needs to make sure they're on top of the common hypothyroid or thyroid deficiencies. So making sure you have an adequate iron, vitamin D, selenium, iodine, so all of these things to kind of nourish. This is someone that I need to address how is their stress response? How is their gut health? And it's not just saying, oh, okay, let's just give them thyroid or replace it, because these are people where you're not going to give it. It would actually make it potentially worse for them. So you're trying to support the system in a way because it's under attack. That's what autoimmune components are. That's your body attacking. So in similar, like your lupus is an autoimmune disorder.
Right.
Excuse me. So, and there are many other autoimmune disorders that impact women, just like lupus and Hashimoto's, but it needs to be addressed in a way where you're looking at the whole picture, because this is someone that could be on thyroid medications or not, as well as additional hormone replacement therapy or hormone therapy. However you want to be able to support the system. This is someone that you want to make sure that, hey, that you're getting high antioxidants, you're able to fight off the stressors or what we call oxidative stress, make sure your cells are behaving. Like you want your body to be able to respond in a way where it's not always feeling like duress. You know, if you're
Wow.
out on a rowboat, you want what? Somebody to help you and get you an oar, right? You're not going to sit there and just, hey, well, I'm just in a rowboat. I'm just going to be in the middle of this lake, just
You
whirling
need a
around.
whole crew in that rowboat. I need somebody
Exactly.
in the back, somebody in the front, 3 people in the middle. That's a lot. We are complicated beings. That's all I have to say. Let's see. The purple,
It's
that was
fun though.
great. Thank you. I'm gonna have to watch this like 4 times. The purple hair dog says, I was simultaneously going to perimenopause, but wasn't even aware of it. Happens.
Mm-hmm.
And diagnosed with hyperthyroidism when I was 45. Lived this conundrum. I mean, that was trying to figure out all the things, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
confusing, and
Mm-hmm.
it can be scary. I'm imagining, to not really understand and not have a doctor that's willing to be like
Mm-hmm.
you and go
Mm-hmm.
that deep. That's why you need to be following Dr. LaReesa and go have a consultation
Yeah.
with her.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And Acapella 96 says whole person approach is so essential. I wish the standard medical system valued it more. I know.
Mm-hmm.
We are here with you. That's why we try to share Dr.
Mm-hmm.
LaReesa with you when you can. Also,
Mm-hmm.
she says most PCPs only have like 15 to 20 minutes, and that is generous. You're right. That's
Mm-hmm.
our primary doctor. They're trying, but it's also hard for them. I think it's important to acknowledge that we do love our doctors. They can only do what they can do in
Absolutely.
15 minutes, you know. So
Absolutely. Come prepared.
let's see. What did Christine
Mm-hmm.
said? She said she was having deep heart throbbing, not the palpitations addressed by HRT. Cardiologist had no answers. PCP noted the thyroid issue in BW. Is that black and white? I'm not sure.
I thought BW was body weight, but I'm not
Oh my
sure. But she says and the weight, so I
And the
don't,
weight.
maybe I'm a little
Body
off.
weight.
Blood
And the
work.
weight. Yeah.
Blood work.
Oh, blood work.
Maybe it's
You
blood
get it,
work for her.
Christy?
Yeah.
Yes. Look at, I'm so glad you
Mm-hmm.
guys are sharing. And also she said cardiologists did all the cardio testing first, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Really good. This is
Mm-hmm.
a thing,
Yes, it really is a women's health conversation, because women definitely are more impacted by thyroid disorders. Now, for those out there, these are things also managed by your endocrinologists. So these are additional hormone doctors out there who oftentimes are managing from the standpoint of diabetes, thyroid disorders, and many other complex things when it comes to glandular and hormonal disorders. So just know it's okay to work along with a primary care doctor as well as a specialist. So those things can go hand in hand, and there are different opinions and stuff out there. But if you feel like, hey, I want to take it a step further, I want to, understand, or I'm being managed by my primary care doctor, and I feel like I want to make sure I get a second opinion, or just make sure that, hey, something still doesn't add up right with me. I've had many people that I still co-manage with an endocrinologist, or I would recommend, hey, well, if that's the case, then find somebody else,
right?
and it's okay.
Get a
It
new
is
team
totally
member on
okay.
your success team with your health stack, right, Dr.
Yes.
LaReesa?
A
That's your
health
favorite, your health
stag,
stack.
board of
That's right.
directors.
And
Absolutely.
there's no shame
Absolutely.
in that. In fact, that's the
No.
thing, in midlife, we are empowered to have as many advisors, doctors, coaches, whatever you need to get whatever you need.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yes. I
it's
just don't
just,
want you to reel your way through health.
right?
R
You don't
E
want to
E
just watch
L.
reels to figure out how to
That's my new one these days.
reel your way, REEL, not REAL. Just keep
No.
watching reels and you'll figure out how to diagnose
Let's
yourself.
just let's
Oh, you mean
that's
I'm more like, don't YouTube my way to health.
that too, but oh my
But
God. I
shorts
mean, I'm
on
not.
YouTube, right? That's a whole other social.
But
It used to
there's
be
some
Dr.
really good
Google. Now it's
reputable
Dr. Social.
physicians out there in YouTube world. So I don't say that as much as when I see people who like and this is just me, I don't believe in that there's just this one magic bullet that's going to fix all the things.
Right.
I think collectively, just like a car or a vehicle or any major system that we use, there is a system of several things that are working together, and we want to optimize those areas so they can work better. And it's just, it's a lot of, guesswork. But what I do love is that people are getting more engaged. They're seeing what else is possible. They're asking the questions because you only have, a short amount of time with these specialists and these physicians, and you want to make it count. And so it's
Gotta
okay to
be
go
ready
in
to
there
rock when you get
informed.
there. Yes.
The
Hmm.
system. Oh my goodness. So yeah, good combo with that for sure.
Really good.
Hmm.
Okay. We have to have a short MenoLounge today. I'm speaking on a panel for an M Factor 2
Oh
this
yes,
afternoon in
yes,
San
yes, yes, yes.
Francisco. And just to shout out for M Factor 2, it's going to be on PBS Thursday, the 19th. Is that, yeah, the 19th
It's
on
Thursday? For
PBS.
some reason I thought it
Yes,
was next
already.
week. I
Yeah,
thought it was next week.
19th.
Okay,
We
I'm
have
off.
our other screening in Berkeley here where we are
Hmm.
moderating a panel then on Saturday. So this is a big M Factor week. But Thursday, go on PBS and find out what time it airs in your area. Have some girlfriends over. Bring in the men in your life. They will get something really big out of it. I promise. Super good. I'm forcing my husband to watch. He's already watched the
Hmm.
other one, but this one, I'm like, you have to watch. There's a whole segment on
Hmm.
men, and they are just they might be my favorite part.
Really? I have
Um,
to, I can honestly say I haven't seen it yet. But I'm looking forward to it. Very
oh,
much
make
looking
sure
forward
you
to it.
and lock your husband down. And I at the screening on Saturday, my sons are going. So
Really?
yes,
Love it.
yes, they
Love
need
it.
to
Love it.
know. They need to know.
Absolutely love it. Love it.
Plus, I
Love it. Love
said
it.
so.
Hmm.
Okay. Last bit of advice before I also say, don't forget, MenoWell bars are 40% off right now on all platforms, Amazon and
Hmm.
mymenowell.com until
Hmm.
Saturday. Make that happen in celebration of Women's Month, Women's History, celebrating us and the M Factor. Dr. LaReesa, bring us home. What the last thing that you want women to know about hypothyroidism that has to do with menopause, or something that they can take away or take to their doctor, or
Hmm.
something that's really actionable that they can take with them today?
Absolutely. So, one, it is not unusual that a lot of the symptoms may overlap. So, that's important because there are a lot of other means of how people are starting or initiating their hormone therapy journey or making the decision. So, make sure you're still covering all your bases because hypothyroidism or thyroid dysfunction, because sometimes you may not necessarily meet the criteria, but you're at the high limit of what's called normal,
Mm.
and these could still be plagued in symptoms that not only overlap with menopause, but overlap with what's going on with the thyroid. But also look at these other tangibles and intangibles, and that includes the stressors, whether it's environmental or internal. Inflammation, that's the key of everything. Like, honestly, it's all coming back to that.
Mhm.
Nutrient depletion, having the necessary nutrients. I can't wait. We need to have a whole conversation about how mitochondrial health adds to a lot of this and how gut
Okay, let's
health.
tell Laura so we don't forget.
Okay.
I love talking about mitochondria. They're just like,
I mean, it's amazing what all the, that's going on. And then gut health, and a lot of these things need to be pulled together to really look at how these conductors, these signals, these messengers are able to amplify their communication. Because once they're able to amplify their communication, you're going to get some of the outcomes now you're seeking, but you're moving more toward optimal health. Not just saying, oh, I'm healthy, but optimal health.
that's the ticket right
Hmm.
there, because
Hmm.
healthy, we deserve more. We
Hmm.
deserve more. We
The
deserve
science is there
optimal.
already.
The
Hmm.
science
Absolutely.
is there. We just need to go out and grab it, get it,
Hmm.
and surround ourselves with people like you who can help us, who have the ability to go the extra mile for us. So,
Thank you. Thank you.
mm,
Absolutely. And platforms like this for sure. So, yeah, if you want to listen more about this, definitely you can follow me at Dr. LaReesa or visit us at thrivebeyondwellness.com. For those in the state of Florida, you can come see me. But this is an interesting conversation. There's definitely so many other layers that can be entered, even just looking at how to evaluate your labs, how to support not only your immune system, your stress systems, your hormonal systems all together. But I think the biggest thing is taking this information, making sure that you're having healthy dialogue and conversation, and write it down. Like, you could have whatever you want to talk about.
Because you're going to
Just write it down.
forget anyways.
Yeah. You're going to be rushing in there. Somebody to piss you off at the front desk. Like, you just want to be there.
Brain fog, write it down. Go
Write it
in, be
down. Yeah.
prepared.
Yes,
And follow
absolutely.
Dr. LaReesa. I just love the
Okay.
name that your practice is Thrive Beyond Wellness. That says
Mm-hmm.
it all right there.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. All
Mm-hmm.
right. Well,
Okay,
enjoy the
everybody.
viewing. I'm glad you reminded me it's Thursday. I don't know why I thought it was next week. So, okay, thanks.
Thursday, this Thursday, PBS, go find it. I'll be at a screening tonight,
Will
screening
do.
Saturday, all the things. So
All the
gather your
things.
friends. It's a good time to get together and your
All
men too.
right.
Okay.
Okay. Take
Have a
care.
good one.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay. Bye, everybody. MenoWell.